Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of Arcade Crusade. In today's episode, we are going to continue the Twilight Zone restoration. Hopefully this video should be the last video in the Twilight Zone restoration series. We're mainly going to be focused on rebuilding and cleaning the Mini-Playfield, putting LEDs in the Mini-Playfield, and then we'll finish it off by putting LEDs in the rest of the game. And that's pretty much all that we have left to do with this game. There's a few finishing touches we'll need to do, like some touch-up paint on the cabinet, on the inside of the cabinet, and then I got some instruction cards I need to print out and a few things like that. But let's head over to the workbench and we will start working on the Mini-Playfield. The Mini-Playfield on this game actually isn't that bad to work on, but basically all we're gonna do is start taking all the plastics off. We'll get the street lamp off, and then we'll replace all the star posts here and all the rubbers here. We'll clean the playfield, we'll wax the playfield. So yeah, just pretty much the same as everything else we've been doing. Just gonna start with this. I may have to go grab some tools. I didn't grab everything. I already got this loosened, so this plastic just comes out with 2 screws. I will put this in a Ziploc that I have left just to stay organized. All right, let me go grab my nut drivers so we can start taking everything apart here, but just give me 1 second. All right, so I went and grabbed my tools and we are ready to start taking this apart. First thing to do, just take all the plastics off and put these to the side. To stay organized, I throw them into Ziploc bags. And when I take these nuts off, I usually take some Novus to the plastic and to all the hardware just to make sure that everything is nice and shiny. Once we get everything off, we can go through with some Novus and take all that off. And then we got another plastic right here behind the street light. We got that plastic off, and now we can, the street light itself is held on by this post here, so I don't think, yeah, that post isn't from underneath, it just goes right through, so we probably gonna have to take that off. Let's go ahead and loosen this main ball guide here. So that's off, and this is hooked up to a switch. It's kind of a pain to work around the street lamp here. Yep, so that is broken free now. We can get that out of the way. Just enough so that we can clean the playfield. Let me see what size this is. It's a 5/16. We'll come back to that. We're definitely going to want to get that off, but let's start by loosening all the star posts here. That's mainly what we need to focus on. So I'm just going to get both of these completely loosened, and we can just leave the screws on the post here and just slide that off. All right, and there we go. That's pulled off to the side. Garbage star post that we're not going to be using. And we're just going to do this exact same thing on all of these. So I guess that was threaded into this. Yeah, so it looks like these two posts here, the opto sensors for them, yeah, the opto sensor is threaded through with this post here, so we just got to make note of that when we take them off. Yeah, and now our opto sensor is completely loose and drops. And the easiest way to do this is to just take these off and lean them out of the way. That way we can get to the playfield and clean everything that we need to clean. All right, and there it is. That is the entire mini playfield pulled apart. We're just gonna basically wipe down all the plastics with Novus 2, all of the hardware with Novus 2. We'll get this out of the way. We'll get the street light moved out of the way, and then we can remove this ball guide here. That rubber can come off here. Probably easier if I remove the ball guide first. Wrong one. Ooh, it's got 2 screws. All right, and there's the upper ball guide removed. This ball guide, we should just be able to lean out of the way like that. And now all that's left are opto sensors and our light here. So we can just fold the light back, and then there's 2 screws back here by the opto sensor. All right, and that is the entire mini playfield taken apart. This will be enough for us to just wipe everything down and man, This rubber does not want to come off. There we go. Thing was caked on there. Yeah, we could fully take this off to get to it. We just need to take off it's like a cardboard underneath there. And I actually have, this is, a guy on Pinside sells this. It is a brand new clear acrylic protector for underneath the playfield, so you can get rid of that ugly cardboard, and then your flashers and your lights will actually shine through underneath to your camera shot and to your dead end shot. So you actually get some light that passes through down there. So I recommend doing this. It's like 10 bucks to get one of these, and you get rid of the ugly cardboard, and it's better in the long term for the upper playfield. So I'm just gonna go ahead and clean everything, wipe everything down off camera. I'll wax the playfield, same as we did our main playfield. And then we'll just put everything back together the same way that we took it apart. And then we will put the acrylic protector on, and we'll go from there. So I'm just gonna start cleaning everything, and then we'll come back. All right, so we got the entire mini playfield completely cleaned with Novus. Then we went ahead and we waxed it with our wax, let it sit for 20 minutes. Once it hazed over, we just came in here with a microfiber, wiped everything down. Then we put brand new star posts, new rubbers, cleaned all the plastics. Everything is back on it, except for this, the opto here, where the ball exits. It has to be done from the underside. I replaced the bulbs in here with LEDs, and along with the one on the side there. So that's all been replaced. Everything on the top side of this has been replaced. And now it's at the point where we can come to the bottom and start taking this apart. So like I said, this has some cardboard, and we're gonna replace this with our new clear protector. And under here, there's a few bulbs and some flashers that we'll have to change when we take this off. So you'll need to do this when you're doing a shop out, because you got to change the bulbs under here. All right, that's fully out there. That's out there. The only screw left is this one. All right, and that is that entire thing pulled off. And now we can get to 3 bulbs under here for the inserts. And actually, if we move some wires around, we can make this one a little bit nicer. We'll see. But yeah, 3 bulbs for the inserts, and then 1 flasher in the center of the pyramid. So all we are going to do is swap out the 3 of these bulbs, and I will do some clear ones and then a new flasher there. Might tighten those wood screws up a little bit, they're a little loose. All right, let me get out my bulbs. And while we're under here, we can put this back on. So this ball gate here, just make sure we're out of the way. There we go. And that's fully on, and it just goes on with these 2 nuts here. These are bigger ones. All right, so we'll just make sure that's nice and snug. All right, nice and snug there. All right, let's see if it'll clean up a little bit. It should. Put a little Novus on this, see if we can get that black spot off. All right, there we go. That's pretty much gone. We can do our flasher first, and then I gotta figure out what LEDs I'm using for the bottom here. So this just takes a normal 906 flasher. All right, so there's our flasher, and maybe I'll just leave that. Don't want to have to bend the contacts. There we go. I'm just going through tightening these to make sure that we are nice and centered on all of these so they shine nice and bright through the bottom of the playfield. All right, so we can put that aside, and now I just got to find the LEDs that I need for this. I have bunch of non-ghosting LEDs. Right. Green. One SMG. Okay, these are the 44s. These are for the 44 base under the playfield, and then these are all 555s. Let's see if I can stab it with this. Here we go. All right, so same as before, you'll want to just spread the contacts just a little bit so they're making good contact. These are non-ghosting with a clear lens, and this is what I use for inserts because they shine a lot brighter than if they were frosted. And the reason I do non-ghosting, not all games need it, but Twilight Zone is one that's known for ghosting LEDs. And we saw it earlier in the restoration series on the extra ball button. The extra ball button was like flickering with a very faint flicker, and that's what ghosting is. They don't cut the voltage enough to fully cut the LED out, so it'll sit there and flicker even though it shouldn't be on. And that's why you need non-ghosting. All right, there we go. That is all three and a new flasher installed. And now we can take the protective film off both sides of this. All right, so that's one side of the protective film. And we have the other side started here. We can actually peel this back. All right, so now we just got to transfer over the posts from the other one, and then this will go on just like this, and this is a much cleaner solution than the cardboard that was originally on it. Let's remove these. Put these in a Ziploc actually. All right, this is going to take a little bit of time to get all these off and transferred over to the new one. So all I'm going to do is take off all of these little plastic pieces and just transfer it over to the new one, and then we'll put that on the bottom. So I went ahead and finished up the Mini-Playfield. I got the clear protector on the bottom of the Mini-Playfield, and once I had everything back together, I was in a place where I was ready to put it back on the playfield. So all I did is, I leaned it up and I took all four Molexes, and I shoved them through the bottom of the playfield, and then I just slid it into place, watching out for these, and there's a connector in the back. You gotta watch your wires as you put it back in, and then you go ahead and hook this wire form back up, tighten it down here, get these tightened down, and now our mini playfield is back in. While I was doing that, I hooked back up the last two wire forms for the game, so the main ramp and then the one that starts multi-ball, and hooked up the gumball sign as well. These went on the same way we took them off, 2 screws and a nut, 2 screws and a third screw there. Very easy to put those back on. So I went ahead and did those off camera, but now we're at a point where we can finish putting LEDs in the game. So where we're gonna start with LEDs is we're gonna do the GI first, and let me get the camera out of the way. So I already did some of the GI in the lower part of the playfield and we had it apart, but pretty much everything past the slot machine, I still need to change the GI for. And GI will be in the bayonet bulb sockets. It's the bulbs that twist in, and we're just gonna go through, look under the playfield where we haven't changed any of the GI yet, and we're just gonna go through and change them. Oh, let's see, what is that for? Oh, we already changed that bulb. Okay. All right, so like I said, basically the slot machine and back. So everything past the subway is going to need LEDs. And we can just get set up here. And all you're gonna do is, all of these are 1/4 inch wood screws like they have been this entire time. And you're just gonna come at it from underneath the playfield. And what I use is natural white bayonet bulbs, and I gotta find my bag of them. All right, so I'm just gonna come right here. There is 2 bulbs for the slot machine, and all I'm gonna do is just come behind this, and there we go. So that's our bulb socket pulled out. Just put this down in the cabinet. These are just gonna take a little push and twist. That comes out. And then we go ahead and replace it in the socket. All right, and there we go. That one's back in. Now we can come to the one directly underneath it. And you're just gonna repeat this process all over the game. And all the GI will be like this. And once you do the GI, then you can go through and you can do all of your insert controlled bulbs. And the insert ones go a lot faster because most of the time they're in these wedge connectors that just twist, pull out, put the new bulb in, and you're done. So inserts usually go a lot faster. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go through and do the rest of this GI, and I'll speed it up so you guys don't have to watch me do all of this. And then when we get to the insert bulbs, I'll stop for a second, show you guys how to do that, and we'll speed that up as well. So we're just gonna keep going through and finding where we haven't changed out the GI yet and continue to change it out. All right, so I got all of the bulbs, all of the insert bulbs, all the GI bulbs, all the 44 bayonet sockets. Every single bulb in this game has been changed to an LED. I went ahead and I printed out my instruction cards, which continue the design down. I printed these out on glossy photo paper. They look pretty good. I think I might print them again and then laminate them. That way they'll be protected over time, and the laminate will kind of, you know, get the same gloss that the apron has. But those look awesome because they continue the design, and it makes such a difference with those. But yeah, I haven't turned the game on yet, so I'll go ahead and we'll turn the game on and we'll see if we missed any bulbs. Wow, that looks awesome. That's insanely bright. We got clear frosted on all the GI. I went ahead and I put a color changer that we did in the backboard. I put that on the question mark for Lost in the Zone. I think that looks awesome. I pretty much did clear everywhere else. I did a purple in the light right spiral because I did a purple up on the spiral for the Mini-Playfield. Our Mini-Playfield's looking nice. Maybe I'll eventually color match the pop bumpers. I have seen people put clear pop bumper caps and then do red, orange, and yellow LEDs inside of them, and I thought that looks pretty cool. Powerball, Gumball, I mean, the whole game has been LED'd. I went ahead and I put a green LED in the Clock Millions there to match the green target of the Clock Millions. But you know, aside from the Clock Millions and our spiral and the question mark, I went with clear non-ghosting pretty much everywhere. And I think the non-ghosting makes a difference because when you see the game do this sweep, the bulbs look, you know, they turn on and off right away. They look pretty nice. So we can go into test and just double check that all of our bulbs are working, but it looks like everything is working. All right, so we'll go into all lamp test, and what it's gonna do is it's just gonna flash all these lamps. But start button, extra ball button, working. All of our GI is turned on during this test. All the door panels are working. All the inserts, the camera, the Powerball. Yeah, everything's working, guys. We don't have one bulb that's out. So that's one thing you want to do when you're putting in these bulbs is, if you saw me throughout, I was spreading the contacts apart so when they go into the wedge sockets, they make good contact, because on a lot of these LEDs, they aren't wide enough to make good contact inside the socket, so you got to spread it. But I mean, if we just get a nice shot right here, I mean, you can see that playfield is like glass after us waxing it. We got brand new clear star posts on the entire game. We polished all of our metal parts on top. You know, those are looking nice and shiny. Cleaned the ramps and polished the ramps. I mean, you can see that Mini-Playfield has probably never been waxed the whole time, and it looks like new up there. And I went ahead and I put flexi. You can see I put flex LEDs inside the lamp up there so I could shoot them down the Mini-Playfield, and now the Mini-Playfield's nice and lit. So that pretty much wraps up the restoration. So all I got to do right now is I'm going to clean the glass with some glass cleaner, and then we can put 5 brand new balls in the game, and we can play our first game on our fully restored Twilight Zone. So I'm going to go grab some glass cleaner. I'm gonna go grab glass cleaner. We'll clean the glass. I'll drop 5 balls in, and then I'll set up the camera so we can play our first game. All right, so we got the glass completely cleaned. We got 5 brand new balls loaded into the game. 2 of them went back into the gumball machine with the power ball, and then 3 in the trough. So now we got the glass on, we got everything, we're ready to go. We can play our first game. So let's try to go for the skill shot and see how our rocket lines up there. Just a nice shot into our camera there. Let it bounce out. Man, freshly waxed, it flies around those loops. There we go, that's our gum. And there's ball. Ooh, shot off the little flipper into the lock shot. Actually, to be safe, I'm gonna hard plunge it. And we'll bank it right off the shot there. If you one-time the shot off the slot machine, you can actually hit multi-ball right away. So that'll start multi-ball. We missed the first jackpot. Multi-ball restart set because we didn't get a jackpot. And we drain. That's playing like crazy fast. Let's try to battle. Shot it so fast up there. Let's try to battle the power here. There we go, defeated the power, so that's worth 18 million. We get the door panel for it. We got super skill shot lid on the left ramp. See if we can shoot the camera here. There we go, into the camera. So we'll let this bounce out of the slot machine and try to trap this ball up. And right now we have gumball lit, so we'll try to shoot the right loop. And that should be worth either 10 or 15 million. Let's see what it gives us. 15 million for the first gumball load. We can bounce this over and we can try to, I was gonna say backhand the super skill shot, and that lights the spiral. There we go. Into the extra ball shot.
Where's your extra ball?
Ooh, whiff the camera shot. There we go. Spiral helper, we whiff the camera shot again, and give us another shot, and we put it in. So we got 3 times town square. Next award is the greed targets. We still have super skill lit on the left ramp. Good save there. This ball dropped down. Weird drop down there. Into the rocket. Bumpers are the most dangerous thing on Twilight Zone. There we go. Super skill shot. So the yellow's extra ball, orange is light out lanes, and red is battle the power. So ideally you want to go for yellow to light your extra ball. easier said than done. That's right, Battle the Power isn't bad. You get 10 million for it, plus you can Battle the Power, which can give you, you know, about 20 million. So, right now we have lock lit and power lit. Drain there, which is unfortunate, but we have an extra ball. Give it a little bit harder of a plunge. Too hard. Yeah, no luck with the piano shot today. Trap up here, try to backhand the power shot. A little too late. Lost the ball on the end of our flipper there. There we go, into the piano. Let's see what we get. Spiral, so loops are worth awards. See if we can battle the power. All right, sure. Dodge change out of the slot machine, and we drain. All right, we'll buy our extra ball here. All right, load the gumball machine. Looks like is that the power ball? No, it's not. Ooh, drain right back down the center. Alright, shoot again there. Ooh, bad feeding out of the slot machine. See if we can shoot, battle the power. Here we go. Now we'll try to battle the power again. This time, 750 per hit, and there we go. 19 million for defeating the power there. That's dangerous. All right, let's try to see if we can either shoot the lock shot. All right, well, back in the piano, I'll take it, but 12 pickups on the hitchhiker, that's huge. Ooh, right off that 5 million target down the middle. Alright, well, it's playing insanely fast. Let's turn the light off and see how it looks without the light. And we will back the camera up. Just lower it a little bit and we'll angle it up. I mean, that's pretty much it. Playfield looks immaculate. Brand new LEDs everywhere, rebuilt flippers. We pretty much tore this thing down everywhere it could be. So, color changers behind the door. I put a color changer on the door on the playfield, but that pretty much wraps up this restoration. So, hopefully you guys can find this restoration useful as you try to restore all of this stuff is universal for any pinball you work on. Doesn't have to be Twilight Zone. If you're specifically working on a Twilight Zone, this will be more applicable to you than anybody else, but this goes for pretty much anything when you're tearing down a game. But yeah, I mean, this one turned out better than I could have imagined, especially the condition we picked it up in. It was completely dead when we got it, and I just checked my phone to see when I took the first picture of when I initially put the legs on, and it was less than a month ago. So this one took an entire month to get rebuilt, and that's not that bad. Usually projects like this you expect like 2 to 3 months, and this was just a month to do it. So that wraps up this entire restoration series, and hopefully shoot some new videos soon. Hopefully I'll get another pinball or another game to restore and we can do another series on it. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you soon.